Hey guys, Dempsey here, and I think I might have just finished the most bizarre docuseries ever. Like, ever. I didn't originally plan on doing a video on this. I actually had something else totally different planned, but then I started watching the show, and then I finished it. And now I have so many thoughts and feelings and questions that I need to vent. So, this is happening. And in case you're wondering what exactly I'm referring to, you've probably seen it all over the internet by now. I'm talking about Netflix's Tiger King.
You're gonna have to kill me to shut me up.
So the trailer doesn't even capture how bizarre the show really is, and the trailer does reveal a lot. There are, of course, tigers, but the tigers aren't even the bulk of the show, and neither is the man who this whole thing is centered around. There's manipulation, theft, cults, attempted murder, polygamy, and that's just scratching the surface. The series as a whole follows a man who goes by the name of Joe Exotic over the course of the past few years, and it shows us his history in the industry, his rise to fame, his bizarre business practices, his wide range of hobbies, the enemies he makes along the way, and of course his eventual downfall. But the series also sheds light on the exotic animal industry that seems to be hidden in plain sight right here in the United States. As a matter of fact, at the end of the series, it's revealed that there are more tigers in captivity in the world than there are tigers in their natural habitat. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you meet some of the other tiger owners that we're introduced to in this documentary, too. One of them is this crazy lady named Carol Baskin. She is Joe's primary antagonist. She literally does nothing but bother the guy when all he wants to do is be a great showman. Like, she seems so bothered by his success too, when in reality she's just as successful as him for doing the same exact thing. And she antagonizes him to the point where he's just so adamant, and he tells everybody that he knows that he wants her dead, and he even goes on describing how he would kill her. Oh my god, I know I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just so ridiculous, and it's not smart on his part because it does eventually lead to his downfall, but watching the show and everything that she does and everything that it's implied that she's done, you can't say that she doesn't kind of deserve it. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but for all of you guys who saw the show, episode 3, that's all I'm saying, okay? Just when you start to think you know what's going to happen next, you don't. Trust me when I say that this show has more twists than all of M. Night Shyamalan's films combined. I was watching this with my wife, and there were several times throughout where we both looked at each other and our jaws were dropped. Because this show is so good at just casually dropping bombs. Like in the middle of an episode, a massive nugget of information that changes everything as you know it will just be given to you. And the show will just continue on like nothing else happens, you know? And you're just stuck there like, oh my god, what's going on? And at the end of each episode is a massive cliffhanger, the best one being at the end of episode 2, which makes episode 3 all the more surprising and enjoyable. The documentary also does a really good job at shedding light on all the hidden culty tendencies that many of these animal captivity organizations seem to abide by. Both our protagonist and antagonist prey on people who either don't know any better or have nowhere else to go, and they pay them little to literally nothing to risk their lives. I mean, at one point we actually see a worker lose their arm. But regardless of circumstance or connection to the actual story, I think that every single character we're introduced to in this series feels like they're ripped straight out of a storybook, whether it be by the way that they look or even the way that they talk. But all pale in comparison to the Tiger King himself. Joe Exotic is so brilliantly odd that I bet every writer wishes they could conceive a character as crazy as he is. When he's first introduced to us, we just see the gay, gun-toting tiger lover, but as each episode passes and as the series goes on, we start to peel back the layers and see him for what he really is. A misunderstood man who just wanted to be adored but got lost along the way. This is one of the best docuseries I've seen in recent memory. And to be honest, I only really had 2 problems with it. The first being the timeline, and the second being the conclusion. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the structure of this series. I think it is phenomenal. It definitely has a beginning, middle, and end, but there is a lot of cutting back and forth So the timeline does get a little bit hazy now and then, and if you're not paying attention very closely, you can get lost very easily with the sequence of events. In regards to the conclusion, I did like the way that the series ended as a whole, but at the same time, it feels like there are some things that were still left unresolved by the end of it. They might have done that on purpose. Maybe they want to do a season 2. I don't know, and I personally don't think so, just because on Netflix, this is listed as a limited series. But then again, it's getting all this attention, and at the end of the day, Netflix could do whatever the hell they want. But all you guys need to know is that there is definite justice at the end of this. Personally, I don't think that justice was served for the right person, but once again, that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, there are certain things that are alluded to at the very end of this that lead you to believe that this is far from over. And I personally think, once again, that there are still people who need to answer for their actions. Carol. Look, if you haven't seen the show, or if you've seen the memes online and are curious to find out what the hell everyone is talking about, now is the time to check it out, especially if you're in quarantine. Trust me when I say I've never seen anything like this, and I mean that in the best way possible. Hollywood doesn't have the balls to try and pull something like this off, and this is real life. Well, unless, of course, it is the feature film version of this, which I think would be awesome, by the way. All I'm saying is that Tiger King is no Lion King. Well, animated Lion King. 1994 animated Lion King, because there is a huge difference. But it's still just as good to sink your teeth into. And for that, I'm going to give it 4 stars.
What a story!
Guys, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. I didn't get a chance to say this before, but of course, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button too. I post new videos weekly. In fact, I've got a bunch of new stuff coming out over the next couple of weeks I'm very excited to share with you. I've got a fun collab coming up that I can't really speak on just yet, but make sure you stay tuned. I'm not so sure if I'm going to post the original video I was going to do before I did this one. I might not. Just stay tuned. Did you see Tiger King? Let me know what you guys thought about it if you did. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Who was wrong? Let me know. I think everybody's going to have differing opinions on that. But yeah, that's pretty much all the time that I have for you guys today. Thank you again. Yeah, I should probably get back to work. So until next time, I'm Dempsey Pillot. Take care.